Thank you for visiting me on YouTube. My name is Brian. Before I get started with this YouTube video, I want a disclaimer. I might say some things that might be pretty offensive to those who are watching, so I urge you, if you do not like my video, please go to another video that you feel is comfortable for you to view, because it's going to be talking about an issue that a lot of Americans have noticed in the media, and I don't want to be sounding like I'm something that I'm not, because I want to be open-minded, and I want this to be an open forum for you to express your views and your thoughts about what's going on in America. As I get started, I want to say that I want justice for a lot of these men and women out here who have been murdered, or those who have been found missing or been raped by these criminals who are out here doing these crazy things to these kids. I just don't understand why a lot of these Americans are getting pitted into these things like this, because this is why life is never going to be the same in a country that is supposed to be freedom to do what you want, but yet we have these people who take away our freedoms by doing things to violate us. It's not fair. Okay, as I get started on this video, I want to also give a shout out to those who are watching me, and I want to thank you for viewing it, because if you can bear with me on this video, then I'm proud that you said that you have the heart to understand where I'm coming from. Let's get started by talking about Nikki McCowan. Nikki McCowan was missing in 2003. It's been over 4 years since she has been missing. This woman was supposed to get married to a man in Indiana, but her car ended up in Dayton and she hasn't been seen since. Nikki McCowan was supposed to be meeting her friends, but she was at a laundromat, and somehow, somewhere, her mom found out that she hasn't came back home to check in with her. And then this led to the massive search of her, and now they can't even find her. But the local news picked up on it, but nobody in the major news covered it. So it leads me to believe that the media is being biased towards this young woman, because this young woman is black. Now on to the story of missing white woman syndrome. Missing white woman syndrome is a coined phrase by some of the journalists in the African American circles, because they felt that the media is being favored towards white women that are missing than to men, minorities, children, and also ugly children at that. And I don't want to say ugly children, because all children are beautiful in my eye. But the whole thing about the media is they want to spin these stories to point the assumption of guilt on someone who is not guilty of this crime. We want to go to the stories that have been relevant for many years. We want to go to JonBenet Ramsey. We want to go to the Drew Peterson and Stacey Peterson issue, or Scott Peterson and Lacey Peterson issue, or even we want to talk about the Aruba incident with Jorgen Vandersloot and the Cowbell brothers and Natalie Holloway. Some of these stories here are examples of why the media has been unfair to those who are missing. The media has been spinning these stories for an awful long time, and it's been really ridiculous, because for every story that they have covered about Drew Peterson and Stacey Peterson, or the missing Marine Maria Lauterbach, there's another child, another woman, another man, another person out there missing. But yet we are just focused on them because they have a soap opera drama that the media likes to feed on, and they want to push this out to you and me so we can assume that this guy is guilty or this woman is guilty. I mean, it's unfair. It's unfair for us to be treating these stories like it's supposed to be a game. A lot of these young women and young men who are missing out there need your support and help. I mean, I wish that they would find all these people before they end up being dead, but you know, it's just because the media doesn't want to push these stories out and get people to understand that there is someone out there that's lost a lost one, and they're not going to find them without your support. The media is not supporting it. I remember back in 2005, I was a Wikipedia user, and I started a word that this reporter by the name of Eugene Robinson he written a book story or in an article saying that white women we love. He was criticizing the media's coverage of this Natalie Holloway issue, and he coined a term called missing white woman syndrome. So I decided I wanted to write it in Wikipedia, and it started to pick up steam, and then now as it goes on, I haven't been on Wikipedia for 2 years now, and the story has grown from one little word to this long page of names and listings of many women who have died or been missing, and the media has been covering them. And it also goes into the United Kingdom and Germany also, because they have an issue with that too. But the whole thing about it is that the media likes to spin this story about a pretty missing white woman, and they got to have a bad guy, so it's got to be either a black guy or a muscle guy or a guy that has a bad past or scruffy look. I mean, it's really ridiculous. Now, I know a lot of scumbags that are out there. Let's take, for example, John Cooey. He killed this little girl who by no means should have never been near this guy, but they lived together, and this guy was hiding in some trailer. His name, John Cooey. He killed Jessica Lunsford. Jessica Lunsford's family lives in Springfield. Her father lives in Florida. By Jessica Lunsford's death, they pressured Congress to pass strict laws on people like John Cooey and others out there posing as so-called friends of these little girls and boys. And then they passed the 25 to life. I don't know if it's fair or not, but it certainly keeps these fools off the street. But for the stories that I've been hearing, it always leads to something being passed by Congress, which in fact takes away the justice and freedom of all Americans. I don't really consider myself to be an independent on this issue because I believe that anybody who does a crime should do the time. But if you assume that this person is guilty and the media falls into this trap of jumping to conclusions, then the media goes off and then says that, oh, we were wrong on this story. We didn't mean to do this. We don't want to be sued by the person who said that they were guilty. It's real hard for me to explain this because it's getting a tongue tie, and I don't want to realize that people are going to say, well, you this and that. You know, I'm not like that. But the media seems to play this game where they want to inject the issue that there's no missing black girls, there's no missing white men, there's no missing black men, there's no missing black or Latino kids out there. There's none of that. I mean, what is it going to take for us to realize that we're still living in a country where a lot of things are being said, but we're not facing them up front? I'm proud to be the first, and probably many more will come, of the people who have felt that they have seen this issue before. So I want you to be fair and honest when you express your opinions, because I'm not being offended by it, because this is an issue that a lot of people have noticed, and I'm hoping that I can at least be an opening light to you, the viewer, and people who are missing out there, because without your support, these people will never be found, or someone else could get killed because of stuff that has never been covered by the media. So as always, post your comments at the bottom, and please be civil when you address these issues. I again urge you people to not view it if you feel that it's offensive to you, because I don't want to have to be looked at as something I'm not, and I'm not that type of person. So in closing, this is part 1 of the missing white woman syndrome, and part 2 will be addressing the issues that also come forth with the teacher-student sex relationship issue, because a lot of these young women out here who become teachers have sex with young men and young girls, and the media likes to pick up on these stories also. Beware of the media. The media is corrupted.